Hi there, my name's James, and if you got the time, I got the games. Saints Row Gat Out of Hell. Been looking forward to this for months now. So much so that I actually did a walkthrough of Saints Row the Third just looking forward to this.
Faraway land, there lived a man so exceptional that the divine hosts of heaven and hell were forced to take note. A man dangerous enough to bring Satan to his knees, but selfless enough to make God himself raise an eyebrow. How did this come to pass? Well, it all began at a very special birthday party for a very special young lady.
This DLC is fantastic.
Surprise!
What is all this?
It's your birthday, Kinsey.
So?
You've never been to a birthday party?
No.
Oh, like not even growing up?
I went to the School of the Americas since kindergarten. We didn't really do birthday parties.
But you celebrated Christmas?
I don't have to explain myself to you.
Oh, Kinsey, this is going to be so much fun. Zinjai made a cake, Jane Austen is here, we'll play some games.
What sort of games?
And all of the characters who survived the destruction of the entire Earth are still present in this game. Or at least in this beginning cutscene and the ending cutscene.
Trafficking with spirits?
It's spooky and fun.
It's a bunch of letters.
It's tradition. Every slumber party has to involve a spirit board.
Slumber party?
How's it work?
We ask it a question, and the spirit of the board will reveal the answer.
How?
Yeah, someone pushes the pointy thing to wherever they want.
Wait. Can we go back to you and your slumber parties?
No time. All right. Everyone put their hands on the cursor.
Cursor. I feel the magic already.
All right. Will the President/God Emperor for life ever choose a partner to reign alongside them?
No.
Ooh, someone's getting married.
Shut up, Matt.
Who will tame the president's wild heart?
What are you guys trying to spell?
I'm not moving it.
That's the spirit, Kinsey.
I'm serious.
I'm not moving it either.
Neither am I.
Jezebel? Who the fuck is that?
Is that not normal?
Where'd you get the board?
I was going through Zignac's artifact collection and found it there.
Who did it belong to?
Alistair Crowley?
Christ. Guys? I think it's laughing at us.
Fuck this. I think you're a smart enough piece of wood to see where this is going. Now, you ready to cooperate? That's me like.
You think we can trust it?
It's not like we got a lot of options.
So what's the plan? We mount up and go in after the boss?
No, I do. No sense in what's left of humanity walking right into a death trap. Someone's got to live to tell the story.
That's a stupid plan, Johnny.
I'm leaving you in charge.
Hell of a plan, Johnny.
Are you serious?
I'm coming too.
Are you kidding me?
How do you plan to come back?
I try not to sweat the details.
You need someone with you that does.
No.
It's my birthday.
Fine. All right, then. You know where my friend is?
So you'll notice, if your console had saved your previous game and all of its information, the avatar that you chose still shows up in the cutscenes of this game. But for the first time in the Saints Row series, you get to play as Johnny Gat, who is the only character in this franchise who's been around since the first game. And of course, Kinsey, who appeared for the first time in the third game. And the map looks just like Steelport, but turned into hell.
Dane Vogel. Ultor's behind this, I know it.
Ultor and the Saints haven't been enemies in years. You really think he's responsible?
You don't know him like I do. The boss put him through a window for a reason.
The reason was the boss
Yep.
was kind of fucking crazy back then.
That's a fair point. Alright. Now how are we gonna find the Ultor building?
Biggest building down here, giant Ultor sign on it. I don't think this is a problem.
I'll buy that.
So, we have to go to the Ultor building to find Dane Vogel. Dane Vogel is the main antagonist, mostly from the second game. And hold on, we gotta go to the map to tell us where we're going. He was the main antagonist who tricked the Saints. Yeah, that was a long story. You gotta play the game to really appreciate that story, but
Look at us.
he's actually one of your
Kinsey
homies
Kensington and
in
Johnny
this.
Gat driving together on a birthday adventure.
Are you always this excited?
Generally, I'm a misanthrope.
I get it.
Yeah, which is true, and you think Johnny would know that since the only survivors of the planet Earth are living on the same spaceship together. You'd think he'd know her a little better. But this game, oh my god, this is fantastic. And I kind of see this like...
Not as bad as I thought.
It kind of reminds me of Steelport.
like a big thank you from Volition and Deep Silver. It's like a big thank you. It's not just give us more money. The size of this DLC is enormous. Granted, the story campaign is very short.
So what's the plan?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna shoot him in the face unless he gives us the boss back.
What if Dean doesn't have the boss?
I'll probably still shoot him in the face.
There is so much content in this this was $20. I mean, it's not... It didn't need to be this big, is my point. I kind of see it as a thank you to the die-hard fans who love the Saints Row franchise like I do.
Welcome to hell.
And he's still dressed the same
She
in
didn't
his
have a
gray suit.
receptionist.
Such is the plight of eternal damnation. I have a feeling you didn't come here to catch up. Let's talk in my office.
Not even death could stop the enterprising Vogel, who wasted no time in setting up an Ultor branch in the bowels of hell. Dane was eager to fill Johnny in on the ever-shifting politics of land rights in the underworld. But real estate mattered little to Johnny, who only cared where his friend was.
Where'd you put the president?
I've been trying to explain that. I didn't take them.
Bullshit. You expect me to believe you just happened to be the first thing we see in hell?
That's the same
Maybe it's
pistol.
just me.
That's the same handgun from all the
It's
games.
more like an accusation.
That's probably because he plans to kill you.
Okay. I get the trust issues. Can I show you something?
The pieces all came together. The president had caused more chaos and destruction than any other in human history. It was only natural that Satan would want them to marry his daughter. They needed a plan, and Johnny had one.
I'm gonna shoot the devil in the face.
I think you might be skipping some details.
Good plan.
No, I said in the face.
I like the commitment, but you gotta find a way to get close enough to him in the first place.
When's the wedding? I'll just show up
And then you'll shoot him in the face. Sorry, but it's a little more complicated than that. These things are tied to the soul. You won't be able to enter without one.
So how do we get one?
You get his attention. I know some places that are of particular value to the father of the bride. You hit those, you'll get your shot.
Wait, why would Satan give out an invitation for destroying his stuff?
Oh, he won't, but it should piss him off enough to get him to attack Johnny personally. Either the devil kills Gat and Ultor gets the construction contracts to rebuild what was destroyed, or Johnny kills Satan and I'll have to pay less taxes. It's pretty win-win.
That's why you're helping us? To make more money in hell?
True to character.
Sweetie.
Works for me. What you got?
All right.
Dane Vogel was always extremely power hungry.
Satan had entrusted the day-to-day running of hell to 5 archdukes, and Dane knew how to find them all. But
Yeah,
beyond
these
that,
guys.
not everyone in hell was content to go along with Satan's status quo. There were others who shared Dane's ambition for power, and the Ultor mogul knew that the key to unseating Satan lay in gaining their aid. But before Johnny set out to wage war against the Prince of Darkness, Dane had one final gift, an artifact that he had spent fortunes on. Lucifer's cracked halo. This holy relic granted Johnny the majestic wings of the Morning Star.
The Morning Star.
However, he still needed help in learning how to use them.
Okay, those 4 guys that we just saw, those are our homies that are going to give us our superpowers later.
You got me out in the sticks. Now what?
But just like the 4th game, you have to pick up clusters.
About to experience angelic flight, for Christ's sake.
Dane.
Someone needs a nap.
Great. Now you should have just enough clusters to power up your halo.
The only thing I thought in the fourth game that wasn't right dead on is that you couldn't fly. You had all these superpowers, like a ridiculous amount of superpowers, but you still couldn't fly. But if you climbed up high enough, you could coast from one side of the map all the way to the other. Well, they perfected the flight mechanic for this game, for this DLC.
Right. Let's start slow. Try to jump over to that next island. Also, the longer you charge your wings before jumping, the further you'll go. Hey, you didn't fuck it up. Good job. Now get up that cliff. Don't worry, if something looks too... Now it's time to fly. You heard of crawling before walking? Well, in this case, you need to jump before you can fly. Launch yourself in the air with a jump, and then hold your wings out to glide to that next island. I put out some old... You'll have to dive to reach the next island. Do that by pointing your head down. Don't worry. The rest of your body will follow.
As a matter of fact, a lot of the activities involve this flight mechanic. It's not only
I put a shiny flap
just something new and small that they added. You really have to perfect this in order to play through. You really have to master this flight mechanic in order to do this entire
All right, now try
thing.
flapping those wings on your own. Do a flap on your way to the next island.
And the flap, that's a big deal. It's another thing you can upgrade.
The exact opposite of diving is climbing. Climbing will slow you down and eventually cause you to stall. And trust me, stalling sucks. You can flap while gliding to gain additional speed. So the faster you're going, the higher you can fly. Now try to reach the island up. All right, time to take the training wheels off for the final lesson. Flying takes stamina. If you run out in midair, you are going to drop like a rock. A stupid, stamina-less rock. Last island is right under those lava falls. Notice how your stamina drains the longer you glide.
Yeah, your stamina, just like sprinting. Your speed in the fourth game, your super speed. All of this drains your stamina. It's exactly the same.
Let's get you back to the old tour building. I want to run through all the stuff you can do to hurt Satan.
Sure thing. See you soon.
Here's the deal. If you want some FaceTime with Satan, you need to get his attention. Now, Satan hates being challenged, so anything you do to undermine his control is good. Fraud, mayhem, shooting demons in the face, anything. You can keep track of Satan's wrath with this handy meter. Get it high enough and you'll be having drinks with Big Red in no time. I've compiled a list of shit to do, so take a look and do whatever sounds fun. Oh, one more thing. We have some potential allies down here. Trust me, you want to impress them.
That's the truth. Okay, I just did a cut right here. I want to show you. I ran around and I picked up 841 clusters. They're all over the game. But look up to the left. You see Satan's Wrath meter. You see how it's split into thirds. And all I've done so far, I haven't upgraded anything. All I've done is fly around and pick up clusters. And a third of it is almost complete already. So, since the story campaign for this DLC is so short, it's virtually impossible that you're going to complete 100% of the map before the end of the story. All I've done is pick up clusters. I haven't done anything. I haven't fought anyone. I didn't get a wanted level not one time while picking up those clusters. And we're almost a third of the way up the meter. But I want to throw in as much of this that this DLC has to offer before we actually get to the end. And if you watched my walkthrough of Saints Row the Third, I kind of like to do a story mission and then spend the rest of the video crunching out as much of the map as possible. That's not going to be the case for this walkthrough, because there's no way to do that in this game. But in doing so, I did unlock all of the stores. There are no Planet Saints or any places or friendly fires, anywhere to buy your weapons. There are these stores, though, and I haven't bought anything yet. This skull was actually a download that came with the disc when I bought it. So I want to equip this, and we don't have a whole lot of money yet. All the money that I've got was just picking up clusters. It's every single thing that you do in the game, whether it's shooting somebody in the face or any of the activities, builds up the wrath meter. And it builds up so fast. This is a cool weapon. But right here, notice over here, okay, this is our first of the 7 deadly weapons. Notice it's $100,000. This is the one that represents greed. It's a golden SMG that shoots diamonds. And the shell casings that fly out are gold coins. So before we get to Satan, we're probably not even going to be able to afford that. But yeah, that's cool, but I want to hold on to this, the classic Saints pistol. So we've got the whole introduction done. What I want to do for the rest of the video is run around and get our new homies and have them give us our superpowers. And you saw in the cutscene, we obviously had Vlad the Impaler, we have Blackbeard, and of course, you know, the most evil man in history, William Shakespeare. And for some reason, the Winter Sisters. You know, not Genghis Khan or Attila the Hun, but Kiki and Viola de Winter from the 3rd game, who ran a prostitution ring. You know, they rank right up there, so that's all good. This whole DLC is crazy and ridiculous, and I love it. Okay, over here, Blackbeard ship. Like any of the games, you do a favor for them, you have to impress these guys before they're on your side.
Ship, we've been boarded.
And these imps. You know, it's both good and bad with the imps. When they're on your side, it's awesome. When they're attacking you, not so much.
Off my ship. Just like the old days.
Okay, let's try out the skull first.
You think I'm scared of you?
Every weapon that you get in this game is, once you upgrade it, every single weapon is extremely overpowered. Obviously, we haven't upgraded too much of anything yet, other than the SMG that shoots locusts. I put that up all the way for damage, but that's all we've done so far. We don't have any money. Yeah, these imps like sparkle and then they explode.
I got a bit of treasure in that chest over there. The weapon you find inside may help with our little imp problem.
Yeah, God's Hammer. This is a great weapon. It's a lot like the Shock Hammer from the 3rd game. I don't use it too much, but I like it. It's cool.
Fuck off. Is that all you got?
Now, unlike the 3rd game, you actually get to carry this around the entire time if you want to. The Shock Hammer was something that you could only use if you picked it up off someone you just killed.
Once aboard, they wouldn't listen to their captain. They ran amok in the bowels of the ship.
Yep, they just keep coming. Yeah, these things on the ground actually give you money. They don't give you a lot of money, though.
Fighting little bastard.
But I ran around before I did all this, and I picked up all the clusters, so every single time that we level up, we can upgrade immediately. Money is what's really hard to get.
Pirate voice. What pirate voice would that be?
Wow.
Like buying the Greed SMG was $100,000. It's hard to come up with $100,000 in this. It takes a while.
Destruction of Earth had a profound impact on the afterlife. To heaven, it was a logistical nightmare. St. Peter's meticulous nature drove purgatory wait times to unbearable levels. Meanwhile, in hell, where souls in pain were used as currency, it created a new era of prosperity for the wickedly enterprising. This economic boom resulted in the coffers of hell to be overflowing, which in turn piqued the interest of the most notorious man that sailed the seven seas. Long had Blackbeard been a thorn in Satan's side, robbing tax collectors on a semi-regular basis. But the promise of an immeasurable fortune drove him to be even bolder. An arrangement was reached. Blackbeard would provide information on strategic targets in exchange for a share of the profit. Johnny, who was interested in murder, not money, happily agreed.
Yeah, the baddest man on the planet.
I grant ye the ability to summon my crew whenever they're needed.
Yeah, and we get the imps. We can summon the imps whenever we want to. And they're pretty awesome, especially when you upgrade them. You can get 4 of them total, but we only have 1 right now. Okay, summon the tutorial. I'm not going to do the tutorials. They're pretty self-explanatory. We'll just run right over to the next one. Next one, I think, is William Shakespeare. Yeah, Shakespeare. Very cool. Notice the way that this story is told. It's like a fairy tale. It's like a fairy tale in hell, and the music differentiates. It's like a Disney cartoon, like Cinderella or Snow White or something like that.
Your best bet to save them is to continue to try to draw Satan out of his palace.
When you're running around the map, it's this evil, hellish music, but then which is great, and then there's this fantastic fairy tale music whenever Jane Austen is telling the story. And Shakespeare is in a disco. This is also original music for the game.
Humanity's greatest playwright, and hell's most diabolical purveyor of entertainment, looks on as a brave mortal on an Orphean quest enters. The bard's interest is piqued, and he looks to test his visitor's mettle.
Yep, go Bill. Go Bill.
Tragedies were used to enemies cowering as they approached.
Alright, let's use our imp right away. Got 3 guys over in the corner.
With courage and nobility, traits uncommon in the fires of perdition.
Hold on. Yeah, these are grenadiers. They're like snipers, and these guys are irritating. Because they can teleport.
The time had come for rising action. The battle
And these guys, these flying demons, are probably the hardest to shoot, I think, so far. I played this all the way through a couple times. The demons that fly are the hardest ones to kill, I think. Yeah, see, they teleport. Oh, I guess the imp got him?
And now, Act 3.
Yeah, you can shoot these guys. You can shoot their shields away, but any of your superpowers will make the shield go away immediately, making them easier to shoot. Yeah, change up weapons and put them down. Yeah, and here we go. Let's let the imp get him.
The conflict resolved.
Just bit his kneecap.
Awaited meeting the champion that dispatched so many of his men. Undoubtedly, they were here for the bard's aid. And while happy endings were not a thing found in hell, Shakespeare always had a soft spot for comedies.
That's true.
In the land of the living, William Shakespeare is regarded as one of the most prolific playwrights of all time. However, to the denizens of hell, the bard is seen in a far different light. After selling his soul for fame and adoration, Shakespeare served in hell as Satan's spy master general. In doing his duty, Shakespeare would punish the souls he was investigating by forcing them to perform in grotesque passion plays for Satan's amusement. But in a Twelfth Night-esque twist, Shakespeare found himself living a double life. While he projected an image of cruelty, his heart was as soft as Jezebel's. In secret, he would tutor her on the classics and act out the works of his mortal days. When Satan found out, he cast Shakespeare out of the palace, believing that the poet would be tormented by the populace of hell, far out of Jezebel's sight. But Satan
Yep, that's what happens when you go after the boss's daughter.
Embracing his persona of master torturer, Shakespeare and his followers, the tragedies, took root in the entertainment district, biding their time for revenge.
His followers, the tragedies. That's perfect.
And so, Shakespeare called forth the Deus Ex Machina to bestow our protagonist with the arcane power of Force Stomp.
And Stomp. I'm really glad they brought back Stomp. That was one of the better superpowers in Saints Row 4. One of the most useful, I think. And Dex. There you go. Find and kill Dex again and again. Make him pay.
Running out of juice.
Dex is a character whose story, they never really finished his story, and a lot of people who were die-hard fans of the first two games, there was never any resolution to that. He was one of your main allies in the first game, and come the second game, he completely stabbed the Saints in the back, but there was no final resolution. You never got to kill him, and then the third game came out, and there was no mention of him. And in the fourth game, the entire world exploded. And that whole story was left up in the air. But this guy, now in this DLC, you get to kill him over and over again. You can see going after Vlad is straight ahead, but before we do that, right over to the left. This building right over to the left. And, whoop, missed it. Landing isn't as easy as it looks. And get over here. Right here. You see this... this comfy Archie Bunker looking chair in front of a TV set. Alright, let's see. On the map, Spirit Bilge is where this is at. This is the first and most easily accessible of the 7 deadly weapons. It's the sloth chair. They intentionally made finding the sloth chair, you find it in the laziest way possible, which is absolutely perfect. But it's great, though. It's extremely powerful. Even if you don't upgrade it, it's extremely powerful. So let's go in here and get Vlad.
The horn on the bus goes beep, beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, I know he was a torturous murderer, but man, he is truly in hell here. You kind of got a feel for Vlad.
You think I'm scared of you?
What, if they wanted to torture you?
Alright, all good. Up top. This room... Hold on. There it is. This is where the music is coming from. There's a DJ in here, too.
The homo on the bus goes, hey, hey, hey. My mom had like 80 of them.
But we've got demons with the wings flying at us. There are grenadiers in here, too. And in this particular case, the ones with the wings aren't. It's the grenadiers that are the problem. And they teleport. And you try to yeah, and they just disappear and reappear. They're the ones that are irritating. Everything else is kind of easy. Oh shit, they're right next to each other, which means, yeah. So shooting one, you're gonna get hit by the other. That's one down. Cool. Okay, so the rest of this should be cake. There's nothing to it. But when you upgrade this this SMG that shoots locusts, it's like any other weapon. It's extremely overpowered and pretty much invincible. And no matter how big your adversaries are, it's nothing once you pick any weapon and upgrade it fully, and
Let us return to my castle. We may
just makes
find
everything so much
safe
easier.
in proper surrounds.
Okay, very cool, and we're gonna get a new power from Vlad.
Vlad back to his castle, which since his incarceration became a haven for frat parties and squatters. But the systematic impaling of trespassers would have to wait. Vlad was a man of his word, and was eager to provide intel that could aid in hobbling Satan's armies.
Notice that cutscene was much shorter than the William Shakespeare one.
Stygian cold fire.
Yeah, this is really similar to a power that you had in the fourth game too, where you could surround yourself with fire, or ice, or electricity, and it would freeze all of your attackers if you were anywhere near them. Very cool.
Yeah.
We're going to go right over to the next one. Obviously, the last one would be Kiki and Viola de Winter, who are reunited in hell. Yeah, and they're in some kind of... It's not a parking garage. And hold on, missed the wall again. Again, landing. You know, flying is one thing, but landing where you want to land is completely another thing entirely. But I just did a walkthrough. Hold on, let's equip the chair. There we go.
We're standing in a parking garage. I don't like it either, but Centerpool isn't giving us many options. I can't believe they tried to force us out. I can't believe you forgot the mimosas. I think we have bigger problems. I don't think you realize how much I love mimosas.
I can't help but notice that people are trying to kill you.
Yeah, they're really big on that here.
What did you do?
Is now really
Yeah,
a
and
good
just like
time?
Game Vogel,
We can
they're
wait
still,
till we're done shooting people.
they're still conducting business in hell.
Remember when we offered you a deal on that airplane and you responded by killing everyone?
Yeah.
It's like that, but worse.
You gotta
Yeah,
try
obviously
harder
that
than
took place in the
Steve.
third game, in the very beginning, on the airplane, where we thought Johnny was killed. But apparently he was just kidnapped by Zinyak, because he was the only human being in the world that Zinyak thought was a threat to his invasion of Earth. That's what a badass this guy is. You can see the swap chair goes really slow until you upgrade it. Where's this guy? I see him on the map. He's a... Yeah, really?
Hey, Viola. Thought you should know that Kinsey misses you.
Really? That's so sweet. Who's Kinsey? You remember Kinsey. She was that hacker that Matt Miller hated. Isn't she crazy? You know, she really grows on you.
No, Kinsey is completely crazy. She's actually, other than Keith David, who I'm actually really bummed out didn't come back for this DLC. Kinsey's probably my favorite character in the franchise. She's the most interesting. As opposed to Johnny, is just a murderous psychopath. He just wants to shoot everyone in the face. Not a whole lot of backstory. Oh shit, here we go. These guys. Yep. These Titans. These are the Titans, and they're kind of a combination between the brutes from the third game. Hold on, shit. And the wardens from the fourth game. Whereas they charge you and they smack you around and they can flip your car and they can do all that, but they also have superpowers. They can shoot at you, they have a stomp power like the wardens in the fourth game. They're kind of a hybrid. Then again, if you think about it, the Wardens are kind of like an upgraded version of the shit. Of an upgraded version of the Brutes.
Too easy. Aye. Let's get you two back to Dane.
Hooray.
Alright, all good.
After being reunited in Hell, Kiki and Viola wasted no time in doing what they do best. Facilitate the running of businesses. However, the De Winter sisters' success did not sit well with other would-be power players in Hell. The sisters' operations all came under attack at once, forcing them on the run. Soon, the twins found themselves on the receiving end of an offer they couldn't refuse. After all, it was better to own 1/5 of something than to be dead.
Yeah, the De Winter sisters are not stupid.
Helped us. Now let us help you. Here's a little something made popular by another group of sisters, the Gorgons.
Yeah, this power you get here is really similar to, it's pretty much exactly the blast from the 4th game, only it doesn't do ice or fire. It's stone. You turn everyone into stone like Medusa, and we unlock another diversion too. Okay, I'll tell you what. I am loving this DLC so far.
Let's see what
And this is where I'm going to end this. My name is James. And if you got the time, I got the games. Thank you guys so much for watching.